In this video, we'll take you inside one of the most hyped restaurants in Japan, from the beautifully plated dishes to the traditional interior, and why, despite all the acclaim, it might or might not be worth the price.
We booked this restaurant in advance, paid nearly $100, and was told that it's the best eel you can get in Kyoto. But walking out of this restaurant, we felt a bit conflicted. Trips to Japan are already quite expensive, and if you're planning a Kyoto trip, this honest review might save you a chunk of your budget, or it might actually convince you to splurge. Let's dig in.
So we spent a busy day exploring Arashiyama, and then now we're going to our Unagi restaurant reservation.
I heard that this is a really hyped restaurant in Japan right now, and is known to serve one of the best eels because this restaurant has been in service for many years. But because of that, it also means that you can't just drop into the restaurant these days, so you have to make reservations in advance. So I made it on the online booking before we arrived in Japan, and it's good to do so because this restaurant is actually not open every single day of this week, so you have to prepare and make sure you're in Kyoto during the days if you do actually want to try this restaurant out.
This Unagi restaurant is located in the main shopping district in Arashiyama. As you can see, there's a lot of people here and a lot of vehicles as well. There's a lot of things to check out on the way to the restaurant, but keep in mind you should always be on time.
So we arrived at this restaurant. It's called Unagi Hirokawa. It was a restaurant that was first established back in 1967, so it's been here for a while. They're known to have a slow-grilled over charcoal freshwater eel specialty, and they use something called the Edomae cooking method, which means that the eel is split over and steamed then grilled, so that's why they really pride themselves on the presentation of how the eel looks like, as you will see in a little bit here. But first things first, before we can get to the food, we must first order it. So here's a look at the menu. As you can see here, the prices are definitely not cheap. It's actually to the point where you actually have to prepay online a 3,000 yen deposit before you actually get into the restaurant. And that's a deposit for every single person. So for the two of us, we have to have a minimum order of at least $60. So we had really high expectations at this point, especially considering that we already had a very delicious unagi at the Tsukiji fish market, and it was pretty affordable.
If you have no clue what to order, there are set menus that you can choose from, which makes it very easy to just not think about anything and just get some food in.
After making our decisions, we finally decided on what we wanted to order, and here is a sneak peek of the things we got.
You know based on the presentation that it's very high-end because it comes in wooden lacquered boxes and it really highlights the color of the eel. The eel is known for using a sauce that is light with low sugar content, so you can taste the original flavor of the eel. And you know the restaurant is good if even the miso soup was very memorable.
So John ordered a set menu while I ordered the standalone unagi dish here. So that's why I have one singular bowl, and I believe I got the small size. And then right next to it, I have also a soup that I had to pay separately for. So this is the soup that John really wanted to try. And if I open it, as you can see here, this is actually a little bit unique because this is the
eel liver soup. As you can see, based on the presentation alone, you can tell that everything looks very high quality, everything looks very intentional, and everything just looks like it complements one another, making it a meal that looks very cohesive. Yeah, so that's me, eager to try it all.
So this restaurant was very private, very exclusive, and even the garden outside was beautiful. And I think all of this made our expectations a little bit too high.
The first thing that we tried was the miso soup, and you can really tell they used really high quality miso. The flavor was really strong, and it really opened up the palate and prepare your tongue for the next course, which is the eel. So in the past, we actually went to a fish market to try the cheap eels that were on skewers, and then it was torched. And that one had a very different style compared to this, because the way they cook it over here, it is really cooked to perfection. The texture was amazing, and then when doing the taste test, you can really tell that everything was very intentional. The eel flavor was really strong but not overpowering. The texture of the eel is perfectly charcoaled, and everything was just very cohesive. However, the eel was good, but was it worth the price? I think that would always be a very difficult question to answer because we really enjoyed the eel. It was really good. The issue is that we had cheap eel, and the way they torched it then was also really good. It's like a really huge dilemma about this food is amazing, the atmosphere of the restaurant is really high up there as well. Everything feels very sophisticated, the customer service is top notch even within Japan. But for our budgets in particular, it is a bit of a splurge. The only thing I remember from this experience in particular is the unagi liver soup. It was very clean and the liver wasn't too gamey. And this was cool because it was novel to try an unagi liver. It's something that you wouldn't normally be able to try. And we wouldn't really go searching for this purposely. And I think that, unfortunately, this was just a spot that's been overhyped on social media. And if you asked me what was the most memorable eel that I've ever had in Japan, this one is high up there, but I actually wouldn't say this is the most memorable for me. I would say just the experience of having a street stall styled eel that's torched on the spot in really hot weather that makes you feel miserable, but then when you eat something that's very amazing on the tongue, that it was memorable. While over here it was really good, but I don't remember every single detail about it.
I would say this restaurant is only really worth it for you if you're a connoisseur and really care about the texture of the unagi itself, but I think for most people, they wouldn't notice much of a difference. I would say this price tag is also you just paying for the environment and the interior design that's so beautiful, but it's definitely a premium that you're paying in order to have this private space away from the crowded streets outside, and not necessarily about the food tasting significantly better, unfortunately.
So in total, we paid 9,790 yen for our meal, and that includes the two of us. You're getting unagi that's not really sauced, but textured perfectly. But is the taste really that much better? Hard to say. But overall, it's a good place for a date.
So we had the earliest dinner reservation spot, and by the time we left the restaurant, things were already closing up. But if you want to see what else we got up to on this night, then stick around for our next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Japan videos. See y'all next time. Take care. Bye.